The Killer, Somebody Told Me, College Radio's Best 89.9, and obviously they're going to be one of the headliners of the Evolution Festival taking place not this weekend but next at Forest Park. And who better to tell us about the Evolution Festival than a co-founder and co-producer, Joe. Joe, come on in. This is Joe Litvag. Joe is not a stranger to people who know things about St. Louis music and concerts. Joe, thank you so much for joining us to talk about the festival.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So this is nothing new to you. You've done these festivals all across the country. I mean, you spent a lot of time in St. Louis putting on events here, but you've done it across the country. Why St. Louis? I know last year was your first year, and how well has it gone? And how did this idea really come about?
Well, thanks for asking, and it's going really well. Why St. Louis? I mean, look, I'm born and raised in St. Louis. While I've spent a lot of my career, I've done lots of shows in St. Louis, but I've probably spent more of my career focused on markets outside St. Louis. But I'm born and raised here. My family is here. My partner on the festival, Steve Shankman, who is a legend in the St. Louis live music business. He's born and raised here as well, and we both were disappointed when several years ago St. Louis lost its large-scale music festival, and no one had attempted to try to do it again. And he and I had sat down a couple of years ago and figured, well, if anybody's going to do it here in St. Louis, it should be the two of us, because we've got the experience and we know what we're doing. And hopefully people will trust us that we're going to do it the right way. And we're going to create something that's going to be around for a long time. So that's sort of how the whole thing started, is he and I both had a desire to try to reintroduce something new to make St. Louis look really good, to folks coming into town and to people nationally, that this is a real city that's got its own real music festival that we can be proud of.
So we could take a whole hour to talk about the logistics and everything that goes into planning and executing this. Just try to give us a little snippet of what it's like to try to pull off something like this at Forest Park.
Well, it takes an army of people. We've got such an incredible team of people together that work on this festival. I mean, Steve and I get a lot of the credit, but really the credit goes to our wonderful team, who really spends a lot of time and energy trying to make sure that everything is perfect for the fans, for the artists, for everybody that's working, et cetera. So it couldn't be done without them, point blank. Festivals really, I always like to say, they very quickly become a 365-day-a-year living, breathing project. And so we really spend all year working on it. We actually started, planning for last year, for this year's festival before last year's festival even played off. And the same thing goes for this year. We're already starting on plans for 2025 right now, just because there are some areas where it takes even longer than a year. But it really takes a long time to sort of put all the little pieces together, to curate the right lineup, to find all the right artists, all the right sponsor partners, all the right vendors, all those types of things, because we want to have a really sort of well-rounded lineup and a well-rounded look and feel to the entire event. So it's a year-long process, and it's a labor of love, I guess.
We'll talk a little bit deeper about the lineup in just a minute, but let's talk about some of the other things going on in addition to the music. So last year, I know there was a focus on bourbon. This year, there's a beer tent featuring many of the great St. Louis beer brands that are around. There's food involved. Kind of go through that experience as a whole, apart from the music.
Sure. I mean, that's honestly, that's what we pitch, is the music is obviously incredibly important to the festival and will always be singularly the most important part of a music festival. But we try to make it about the other things as well. We think of them as the other headliners, which are the food and beverage and just the overall experience for fans when they come on site. So yes, last year we specifically chose bourbon and barbecue to be kind of the focal points for us, and it worked really well. We had a lot of great results from that. This year we still have a lot of bourbon and a lot of barbecue involved with the festival, but we decided we wanted to spread our wings a little bit. St. Louis is obviously always has been, always will be a beer town. So to put some heightened focus on the craft beers, from St. Louis were important to us. So we wanted to put a little more emphasis on that this year. Still, obviously, having a lot of bourbon brands and a lot of other liquor brands that will be showcased at the festival as well. And then on the food side, we'll still have a decent contingency of barbecue at the festival because St. Louis loves its barbecue. But we also learned last year that people were just as interested in all the other food offerings we've had. So, having Southwest, having things like, Taco Buddha and Steve's hot dogs and things like that, Pie Baby on the pizza side. These are all things that are important to sort of give the fans a well-rounded experience. We want everything to be elevated. That's really the key for us with Evolution is we try to stay away from typical festival fare, and state fair type of offerings, and try to really focus on creating elevated items that people can eat and drink while they're at Evolution Festival. That's part of what we're selling.
That's very cool. So let's get into that lineup a bit for both days, and let's just go ahead and talk about the one major thing is, where does it stand with Jane's Addiction?
Can you see what I'm doing here? I knew exactly where you were going.
So people have probably seen it not by now, but there was a little blow up, I guess it was about a week ago or so in Boston with the reunited members of Jane's Addiction. So that had to be frustrating for you, yeah?
Yeah, listen, having done this as long as I've done it, unfortunately it happens in our business. We're dealing with artists and love them to death, but sometimes they get in fights and things happen. Unfortunately, I think the worst part about that was whatever happened, it happened on stage.
Yeah.
But neither here nor there. It's not my cross to bear. Obviously, we were disappointed to learn shortly after that happened that they were going to be taking their tour off the road. Hopefully, they sort things out and can come back out at a later time. But for us, the main objective was, okay, what do we do to fill that gap? So probably less than an hour passed from when we got the official word that they were not going to be able to appear at Evolution, where myself and Jeff Jarrett, who I work very closely with on curating the talent for the festival, had put together a short list of possible replacements. So while I don't have anything to announce right this moment.
Oh, man, that's what I was hoping for. Okay, I understand. That's great. Go ahead.
I would love to.
All right.
But I think people are going to like it. We're honestly, between Jeff and myself, we're just waiting for a text message right now, letting us know that it's confirmed. And then once we know it's confirmed, we're going to announce it publicly. And I think everybody will be happy and excited. Certainly, Jane's Addiction to me is a band that's irreplaceable.
Right.
But I think it'll be something else. It's going to be something in that genre that we believe the Jane's Addiction fans will like just as much as Jane's.
Well, now I'm going to have to just think about it for the next couple of days. Who might fill that role?
Hopefully you're not going to be waiting a couple of days. I can't say definitively when we'll have the announcement, but we're still hopeful that we can maybe even make it yet today. But we'll see. We have to make sure every I is dotted and T is crossed before we can say who it is.
So so it was supposed to be Jane's Addiction co-headlining with the Killers on Sunday. Killer Mike's going to be there on Sunday. Todd Rundgren. A bunch of other bands. On Saturday, it's Beck is headlining the show. We play an artist called Zella Day, who's in the band Chaparral, who I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do. Anything else you want to add to those 2 days and those lineups?
Look, I love the lineup from top to bottom. Jeff Jarrett deserves a lot of the credit because when we're going through lists of, hundreds, if not thousands of artists to try to select from, to go after for the festival, he helps really sort of narrow it down. And it's very important that we have a wide variety and we have something for everyone, hopefully. But personally, I'm excited to see S.G. Goodman. I haven't seen Pete Yorn in I don't know how long. Nile Rodgers and Chic is such an incredibly fun show.
Yeah.
Nile, in my mind, has never gotten enough credit for what he's contributed to the music business and just to popular music in general.
Right.
Not just his own songs, but songs he's written for other artists that he's produced, etc.
Yeah.
His show is just, dance hit after dance hit, which is a lot of fun. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to on Saturday. I haven't done anything with Elle King since she was just coming out.
Right.
So it'll be great to see how she's evolved as an artist. Lola Kirk is another great up and comer that Jeff has found, and then we got some St. Louis ties, which we're excited about with Sunvolt and
Sure.
Nadine and a couple of others. So I think, there's a lot that I'm excited about. There's a lot that I'm excited to see. The question still remains: will I actually get to see all these acts or not?
That was my next question. How much of this will you actually get to witness?
It really just depends. I mean, like I said before, we have such an incredible team of people that really do all the heavy lifting on site. So, Steve, my partner, and I are there to just sort of, put out fires when need be. And hopefully there's not a lot of fires. But so in a perfect world, yeah, I'm out checking out bands, all weekend long. But as little things come up, hey, we've got a security issue here, or we've got an issue with the merchandise there, or our scanners aren't working here. I will typically jump in to help in all those areas wherever I can, just to try to get things moving forward again. So hopefully I'll be able to see a little bit of everybody, but we'll just have to see how the weekend goes.
So tickets are still available, yes, and varying different levels, 2-day festival passes, 1 days, VIPs. There's a bunch of different options that people can check out on your website, correct?
Absolutely. Evolutionfestival.com is the place to go to learn all about the ticket offerings. But like you said, we have general admission, we have VIP, we still have some super high level VIP passes left. Those are called platinum. We have single day, we have full weekend. So whatever fits you, we've got a wristband for you. And we're hopeful that all of St. Louis and surrounding area comes out and supports this festival. We're trying to do something good for the city of St. Louis here, and for all of us to be proud of. So, I just continue to stress we need everybody's support.
What as we wrap this up, what would you like festival goers to know? What should they know? Is there anything specific or anything else you would like to add?
I think just come with expectations of enjoying a large backyard barbecue. That's kind of the way we try to build out the site and give that look and feel to where everybody just feels relaxed and comfortable. You get to meet a lot of new people. It's really a great community event. It's a great place to meet new people and check out some new bands. I encourage everybody to circulate and check out all the different artists, or as many as you possibly can, on all 3 stages, because chances are you'll walk away from the festival discovering something that you love that you had never heard of before. So that's another big thing that we like to tell everyone. And I think other than that, just, weather is looking good for next weekend. It's still a little bit too far out to tell the exact detail, but it looks like the temperatures are dropping next week a little bit more. So its highs look like they're going to be in the 70s.
That's perfect.
I don't think we're getting any significant rainfall. So, look, come out and enjoy the weekend with us. I believe that once you try Evolution Festival, you will be a believer and you will want to come back year after year, because it's a really, really incredible experience.
So exciting. Again, thank you for doing this. As someone who's got to enjoy many, 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 many concerts over the years, thank you for your role in that and making St. Louis one of the greatest places, I think, in the country to see live music. And thank you for everything you've done to make that happen and for putting on this festival.
My pleasure. Thank you. And thank you to all your listeners. And we hope to see you all out there next weekend.
So a band that we've already talked about that's going to be headlining on Sunday, closing out the festival. Here's the Killers with When You Were Young. College Radio's Best, 89.9.